What's up, everybody? This is Whisky in the Six. I'm Rob. Today I'm reviewing Glenallachie 12-year-old. I'm going to talk a little bit about this whiskey. I'm going to talk with you guys sitting in the chat. And I'm going to talk about why I think Ralfy was right for choosing this to be his Whiskey of the Year for 2019. Ralfy tends to do his Whiskey of the Year at the beginning of the year. My Whiskey of the Year is usually at the end of the year, reflecting what I drank in that year. So it would have been a 2018 Whiskey of the Year. Ralfy's reflects what he drank in 2018, but calls it the 2019 Whiskey of the Year. So that's the only difference there. Go Habs is saying, wow, on time. Tamar, I've been chatting with for already a little bit. Yeah, I'm on my own tonight, so there was no technical difficulties. The kids went down nice and easy. Much needed easy night based on the week that I've had. So yeah, we're doing this lovely 46% 12-year-old Glenallachie, launched in July of 2018. There was a core range of 12, 15, 18, and I believe there's a 25. Actually, I might be wrong about the 15. I could be wrong about that. So 12, 18, and 25 for sure. And I know there's a bunch of single casks out there. Prior to July of 2018, there was only Glenallachie in single casks or in blends. So you didn't get very much of it. Billy Walker and a small conglomerate, or a small group of people anyway, bought out Glenallachie Distillery, and now Billy Walker's in charge. If you've been watching my channel for some time, you know that when Billy Walker was a part of Glendronach or Ben Riach, I was a big fan of their stuff. Things have changed slightly, but we have some people in the chat I want to say hello to. Like I said, Tamar and Go Habs are here. Louis in the house. What's up, buddy? Joe Mez, how's it going, man? DH Silves is in the house. Richie Z saying greetings, Rob and Whiskey friends. We got the Whiskey friend in the house. What's going on, buddy? And we're going to call him Skid Mick. Might need some moderators tonight because I don't know how distracted I'm going to be by this bottle, by what I'm talking about. I have a little bit to get to, so we'll see. Claire, the third in the house. What's going on, buddy? Steve A, how's it going, man? Gregor's in the house. Howdy, buddy. So, like I said, this came out in July of 2018. So it wasn't out for very long before Ralfy had a chance to try it and decide that this was going to be his Whiskey of the Year. I picked this up probably about 3 to 4 months ago, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember exactly when. I got it at a decent price. I believe these are going for anywhere between 70 and 90 Canadian, depending on where you are. They are also around that price in conversion in the UK. You can probably get it for a little bit less, maybe like 30, 40 pounds, depending. Someone in the chat could speak to that. Maybe the whiskey friend can help me out there. 46% unchill filtered and natural color. Really, really nice stuff. I'm going to nose it, taste it, give it a mark, and then I'm going to explain to you guys how I feel about this whiskey. So I get a ton of vanilla on the nose. There are some like apple type notes or pear type notes. I get a little bit of like a coconut note as well. Maybe some banana. Christopher David's in the house. What's going on, bud? Not sure how many we actually have numbers wise, but glad that you guys all made it. Peter White's in the house. How's it going, buddy? Honestly, this is super approachable, easy on the nose, really nice smells, a lot of sweet, different kinds of notes. You got butterscotch and vanilla, like I said, coconut, maybe a bit of banana and apple. Really nice on the nose. So that's actually my third sip. I was sipping a little bit while waiting in the chat. Whiskey Throttle in the house. What's up, buddy? DJ Beacon, what's going on, man? Man, okay, so this whiskey Starts like your normal 12-year-old. A good comparable would be a Glengoyne 12-year-old, which I love actually. But it starts kind of like a Glengoyne 12-year-old. But the finish on this whiskey is incredible. And I'm going to tell you why I think that is. It's a combination of, from what I've researched, Pedro Jimenez casks, Oloroso casks, and Virgin Oak casks. I think what's happening here, even if there's a small amount of ppm in this, a small amount of peat, low ppm, the Virgin Oak is a heavily charred Virgin Oak, and it comes off in the finish as an ashy, not ashy, sorry, like a charcoal type smoke, and it's beautiful. The finish is gorgeous on this. For that alone, I'm probably going to give it, I know what I'm going to give this, but that's one of my main justifications for giving this a high mark. The nose is really nice, very approachable. The front of the palate's really nice. The mid palate's sweet and nice, but that finish is just awesome. Yeah. Sweet. You get some banana, coconut, and then all of a sudden this ashy kind of note, not ashy again, charcoal kind of note kicks in, like a light smoke. And I know that it's probably not peat, because people that don't like peat that I've let try this love it as well. And they love it, and that note comes off as more of a chocolatey type note for them. I'm getting charcoal, but I can definitely see why they get chocolate out of it. It's really, really cool. Sipper Social Club in the house. Hey man, still waiting on dinner to arrive. He probably got Uber Eats or something like that. Jeremy might join us a little bit later, maybe just before the Raptors game. We might take a sip. Well, I'm definitely going to be taking a sip of this bad boy right here. It's the Springbank 25-year-old. All right, so that's going to be tasted tonight as well. But before I get into that, like I said, all the details really quick for those of you just joining us. Glenallachie started in 2018, July. Billy Walker is one of the owners. He's also the master distiller. He did not distill this whiskey because he wasn't there 12 years ago when this was fermented, distilled, and then barreled. But master distillers also often take on the job of master blenders, and that's what Billy Walker is doing here. He blended 3 casks, Pedro Jimenez, Oloroso, and Virgin Oak, and it comes off as an awesome marriage, in my opinion. Probably the best 12-year-old I've had that's 46% or under. Just beautiful all around, which eventually will make me have to do a new best 12-year-old Scotch whiskey video. DJ Beacon is saying go Raptors. Absolutely, the Raptors will be on in about 22 minutes. Richie Z is saying, is the Glenallachie both ex-sherry and ex-bourbon? So apparently there's no ex-bourbon casks in this, and it's a mixture of the 3 that I just mentioned. Definitely refill casks. It's super light. It's not very dark at all. So probably a second or third fill Pedro and a second or third fill Oloroso. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a first fill Virgin Oak. Well, I guess it has to be a first fill Virgin Oak. Has to be considered Virgin Oak. Wow. Yeah. So I'm going to actually match Ralfy's mark here, and I'm going to give it a 90 as well, which is high for me when it comes to 46% whiskey. It's high for me when it comes to 12-year-old whiskey. But I do think this deserves it because every single person I've let try it fell in love. I think it's awesome stuff. I think it's great value. I think Ralfy was right in choosing this to be his whiskey of the year for a couple of reasons. Now, my whiskey of the year is chosen for very different reasons. I just basically choose the absolute best whiskey that I had an opportunity to get to know that year. Tasted it a few times, and I choose the whiskey that just rocked my world the most. I don't think that's what Ralfy's doing here. I think I know that's not what he's doing here. He's taking value. He's taking everything into account. If you guys look back at all of Ralfy's videos or all of his whiskeys of the year, they tend to be something pretty affordable, something that's an integrity type whiskey. And he uses that word very pointedly, integrity whiskey. All right. And this fits that category. It's an integrity whiskey because it's 46%. It's unchill filtered. It's got natural color. It's got an age statement on the bottle. And those are all things that Ralfy really wants to see. Plus, they weren't giving you a basic 12-year-old with this. They wanted to come out of the gate running. They wanted to really wow people with their 12-year-old expression that's reasonably priced. And they did that, in my opinion, with the Glenallachie 12-year-old. And I think that's why Ralfy decided to make that his whiskey of the year, because it's very tempting. You have a whole bunch of 12-year-old casks. You got a whole bunch of junk. You want to mix all that junk with some good whiskey and get an average to a little bit above average whiskey and pump it out, make some money. It's very tempting for many distilleries to do that, and that's what they tend to do. Glenlivet's an example of this. Glenfiddich, although many people love it, their 12-year-old is another example of that, in my opinion. There are exceptions to the rule, of course, but that's not what Billy Walker did. That's not what Glenallachie did, in my opinion. So there's my little rant for the night, guys. The rest of the time I'm going to be spending talking to you guys. I want to see what you guys are drinking tonight. There are some highlights I'm going to get back to right now. So that's a 90. Excellent stuff. And you guys have my reasons why. And if you're just getting here now, just quickly hit the rewind or finish watching with us, have a chat with us, and then you can go back later on and check it out. We got DH Silv saying, a lot of women wear white when they get married. I must have missed the conversation before that because I'm not sure what he's referring to. What are you guys drinking tonight? What's everybody drinking? If you throw me a link, I can jump in. All right, I will let Jeremy jump in. I'm done my rant anyway, so I welcome company sometimes. It gets lonely by yourself over here. Sent, my friend. You should be getting it shortly. I see. DA Sales is saying virgin oak. Women get married in white. Yeah, that's a good point. So the first year that they're using this whiskey, they decided to do some virgin oak. I think it was a great choice. I think that virgin oak really changes the dynamics. I think it's going to be copied quite a bit moving forward. It's excellent stuff. Whiskey Throttle's making a very sexist comment that I will not repeat. Sorry, just in case some of my female students are watching. Michael is saying, have you tried the Glenallachie 18 yet? I've tasted a small little dram of it, not enough to give it a fair shake. But what I did notice is I like the 12 better than the 18 for sure. I have not tried the 25. I really want to try the 25. It's pretty expensive, though. It's not cheap. So it does seem to be coming down a little bit in price because it's not being heavily sought after. Richie's saying, drinking from my bourbon infinity. Are you excited about the Raptors Warriors finals? You know what? I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I've been watching the playoffs, and I have watched Kawhi this year. And what I love about Kawhi Leonard is that he's probably the most humble superstar in the NBA. I've never heard him say he's the best player. And you'll have like run-of-the-mill average basketball players that say they're the best player of all time. And it always makes me laugh because everybody in the NBA thinks they're the best. And here's a guy who's at least top 3. Maybe top 5, arguably, I guess. But some people say the best in the world for real. And he's actually like, he doesn't even care about that title. He just wants to win. And he says it so many times. They actually just did a video, a little clip of him, and the amount of times people say, do you feel like you're the best in the world? And he says, I don't care about that. I don't care about being the best. I just want to win. And I think that's really, really awesome to see, a great role model for young kids. Kev is saying, Rob, I'm drinking Loch Lomond 12. Very cool, man. I don't know if I've tried that one, to be honest with you. I don't think I have. Tom R is saying, I'm drinking some Laird's Cast Strength Apple Brandy. That sounds awesome. Vinny's Store Pick, 132 proof. Great change. You know what? I would love to try that. I'm very curious why more people are not doing other fruit type brandies. I think that's such a cool idea, especially a cast strength apple brandy. That sounds incredible. Good on you, Tom. Good on you for buying that bottle, because many people would walk away from that. I think that's really cool that you bought that. Whiskey Throw saying, too late, you laughed. Scotch for Dummies saying, what's up? Scotch for Dummies, how's it going? The Scotch for Dummies right now are on fuego. They are literally exploding. They'll be at 8,000 before I can hit like 6,300. They are killing it. Congratulations to you guys. You guys are doing awesome.
Hey man, can you hear me?
Hear me. Literally, hold on one sec. All right. You may speak now.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? You guys ready for some Raptors game 1? Big win tonight. I'm feeling it.
I'm pretty pumped, man. You know what? Like I said, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but how can you not get into it when your city's like doing so well, and just like the environment around the team, and you got such a great leader in Kawhi Leonard. Like, I don't know if you heard my little spiel about him being such a positive role model, but
yeah, I love Kawhi. I love his humbleness. I love his business. He's just doesn't care about the limelight, doesn't care about the fancy bling or anything like that. He's just there to play basketball, and I love it. And he's I'd say he's probably like one of the top 3 basketball players in the NBA right now.
Yeah, I think that's generally where most people place him. Top 3, top 5.
Yeah.
Some people maybe biased say top, like the number 1.
Well, in the playoffs this year, he's been the best player for sure.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it did help that the best player in the game probably wasn't in the playoffs this year, right?
True. That is true.
But man, I know you had an opportunity to try this.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with that. I thought that was great whiskey. The vibrancy, the fruitness, like the freshness of that whiskey is really nice.
I really hope that they stick to this combo, because whatever they did to make that finish, I hope they can continue to replicate that for the existence of this company, because I love it. Like it's such a really nice charcoal, dark chocolate, just beautiful note. And like I tend to get that kind of from like a Highland Park, but a little bit maybe more smoky style. Whereas this is just like, it literally tastes like it's been micro filtered through like charcoal almost. And it's really, really nice.
How's the availability of that bottle? Can you still find it, or is it kind of gone?
In Ontario, it never came here, right? In Alberta, you can pretty much get it anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually readily available. So where it was released, it seems to me that, I mean, I know a lot of people hate me talking about Alberta, and it's really not just about the pricing. It's about the fact that they're able to acquire such incredible expressions. Like recently, we got those Longrow 17 Chardonnay single casks, not available to the rest of the world. That's an Alberta exclusive.
And Alberta does a great job of bringing in single cask. Do a great job of bringing in independent bottlings. They do a really good job of bringing in unique stuff. So commend them for that.
It's incredible. Whiskey Whistle in the house. He's saying great topic. Thanks, Mark. We did spend, or I did anyway, spend the first 20 minutes or so talking about it. What are your thoughts on Billy Walker, Jeremy? I know that you're a big Glenn fan.
Yeah, sorry, say that again.
What are your thoughts on Billy Walker, like as a master distiller / master blender? Like, how much have you had an opportunity to try of his?
I'm trying to think of what I would have currently that has his signature on it.
Any of the older Glen Dronic 18s or 15s, which are probably the ones that you would possess anyway, right?
Yeah, definitely like that Glendronach line. Haven't had the new 15 yet. It'd be interesting to see that. But yeah, I mean, as far as master distillers go, I mean, he's got to be one of the more respected ones in the industry, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else he's done besides those Glendronachs, though. And then the one that you've got, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if you ever had the opportunity to try that Ben Riach Moscatel, the 22-year-old that I had back in the day.
Yes, I tried that.
That whiskey is just another example of like maybe and maybe we give these guys a little too much credit. Like maybe it's just a little bit of luck. Like they walk around this huge distillery, they try some like samples out of different casks, and then they just get lucky and find a couple casks that they're like, wow, this is incredible stuff, and let's bottle it. You know what I mean? But I was saying earlier, a lot of the temptation is to mix decent or like good whiskey with not so good whiskey and then pump out a big volume of bottles as your 12-year-old expression, which I don't think was done here. I think they really took their time with this one, even though it's 12 years old and like in the Scotch world is known as an entry-level expression.
Yeah. I wonder how many distilleries take their bad barrels and dump them. Like how much whiskey is actually dumped? Because I know like breweries sometimes, like you get like a craft brewery, and a lot of times, you know, if their batch comes out sour or whatever, they have to dump it because they can't just bottle that. I'm wondering if that happens and how often it would happen in a distillery.
Honestly, I think with beer, it's so much harder to disguise something not so tasty. You know what I mean? Whereas with whiskey, you can just mix that into a huge vat with several barrels, like hundreds of barrels, sometimes thousands of barrels, and it's so much easier to just like disguise it. So I really don't think many, if any, 12-year-old plus whiskeys are being dumped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if any do get dumped.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be some that just come out and they're just like, this is just completely freaking awful, and I don't know, but maybe not. Maybe a new distillery, like a new like craft American distillery, maybe they'd have that issue a bit more, you know. Like, but these old Scotch distilleries, they've been doing it for so long, they probably don't have anything like that. Yeah, still says 1972 dumb stuff. Yeah, right into the river.
Rob Horvitz is asking if I tried the 18. I tried very little of the 18, but not enough to give it a fair shake. But I did notice that I thought I liked the 12 better, to be honest with you. The whiskey friend is saying, Rob, do you think the bottle would have got Ralfy's Whiskey of the Year if Billy Walker never produced it? That's a great question. I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say yes because Ralfy preaches integrity. And if he's basing his opinion of a whiskey on one guy, then that kind of goes against everything he believes, I would think. Maybe he does like Billy Walker, and it's okay to follow certain master distillers, certain master blenders, I think. But at the end of the day, the whiskey speaks for itself, and I do think that this is excellent whiskey. I mean, I have no ties to Ralfy, I have no ties to Billy Walker, and I can totally understand why he picked this as his Whiskey of the Year because of his criteria, and it all depends on that criteria, right? Like, it wouldn't be my Whiskey of the Year because, like I said, it's my Whiskey of the Year always ends up being something that like blew the doors off of my house. You know what I mean? Like something that just blew me away. Whereas other whiskey reviewers have different criteria, and even Jeremy, you have different criteria than I do for your whiskey of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone does, and I think Ralfy always tries to pick something that's affordable, available for the most part, something that you can go out and buy after you see his review. And I think that kind of stands for something. I mean, if someone's going to pick a one-off single cask independent bottle that you're never ever going to find, it's like it's not really serving anyone's purpose to name it your whiskey of the year, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, I totally like, and that's pretty much been the biggest criticism of the way I choose the whiskey of the year is I tend to just choose my favorite whiskey,
Right.
Which, like you just said, it's not the most fair way to do it because not everybody can acquire that whiskey. But I also feel like, you know, I'm just gonna give every whiskey a fair shake at reaching that top 6 that I do every year, and that's it. Looks like there's a bunch of performances going on at the Raptor game right now. I'm not exactly sure what is happening.
There were people lining up at 4 a.m. to get into like the standing area outside the arena.
That's crazy.
Jurassic Park, they call it.
Apparently, Jurassic Park stretches all the way to the Rogers Center, which for people who don't know, that's like what, like a kilometer away almost?
Yeah, it's insane.
So, are you sipping the Springbank 25-year-old right now?
I am not, although I do have it out. I'm sipping on the Springbank Local Barley 9-year-old. This is what's our bottle split.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, going back to revisit it since my review, and I'm still sticking with my score. I think I gave it 86, which is a very fair score, I think, for this.
I think, honestly, personally, I think you're a bit generous, to be honest with you. Like, the way and maybe it's my own, I don't know. I get angry when something's so overrated that when I try it, it really disappoints me. And then I'm like, but like, maybe I like crucify it because of that. I'm not sure. And I should, but.
You know, like, Whiskey Fun gave it 91 or 90. I took a lot of flack on my channel for only giving it 86, but I mean, we've tried the 11-year-old, the 16-year-old, and it blows this one away for sure. So,
yeah,
each their own. I mean, some people really like it. For me, I thought it was good, not great.
I feel like it's just a little too hot. Like it's so hard to like get to know because I played the water game. Like I literally just like 2 drops of water, took a sip, too hot. 2 drops of water, took a sip, still too hot. You know, like I probably brought it down to like 43%, and it still wasn't like great for my palate. So I don't know. When I do that review, I guess I spoiled a little bit of what's gonna be said, but maybe it'll blow my mind. Maybe it'll change completely, having been open for so long and I haven't. I just want to get to a couple comments here. We have Richie Z saying, I have a 13-year-old Glenallachie Indy Alexander Murray cask strength sherry bomb. That sounds pretty awesome. The Whiskey Friend saying, Billy Walker whiskeys are always integrity bottles, always 46 and no color, no chill. That's 100% true, and that's what I love about Billy Walker myself. DH Sills is saying, man, Springbank massively has improved their back aging. My 25 has a box that's just falling apart. Yeah, the box on, I'm going to show you guys the box on this 25-year-old. It's actually pretty cool. It's, I guess, silver and like red. As it pops open like that. I think it's got a little magnet at the bottom here, but really cool. And it's pretty solid. But I love that it's just cardboard. Like it's just like fancy cardboard. You're not spending all the money on, although these are super expensive nowadays. So
yeah, I don't like when you pay a lot of money for a box, even though some boxes are kind of cool or whatever. For the most part, I'm recycling my box once I've opened the bottle. So
Welsh Toro says Billy Walker has done great things with his distilleries. I'm not sure how much input Walker had with some of those whiskeys. He had a lot of old stock when he took over. Yeah, and I said the same thing. He definitely didn't distill that Glenallachie 12-year-old. He didn't distill the 18, the 25, but I'm sure he had some input as to what was being married together for the vat. And just having a brain like Billy Walker's after all the experience that he's had, I think that speaks really well to what's going to happen with Glenallachie in the future. Santa Cruzan's in the house. What's going on, buddy? Rostislav saying, Rob, did you try Springbank 14? Not sure. Is that a single cask? I'm not sure, buddy. I tried a 19-year-old single cask. I think the 14-year-old is a bourbon cask, single cask. I have not tried that 14-year-old. The whiskey friend is saying, just got the Hazelburn 14 Oloroso today. Did you get to try yours yet? I gave you a sample. Did you try it?
Yes, I did try it. Wasn't blown away by it, really.
No?
I know you guys really love that one. Yeah, I'll have to go back to it again. I just had a small little sip the other night, but
I really liked the one. I thought it was like almost like a sherry bomb. I was actually super surprised at the amount of first fill sherry that's probably in that.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all a matter of preference. But let's talk about these Springbank 25s for a quick second here, because you have some over there. I have some over here.
Are you going to pour some? Are you going to pour a little?
I poured it before I went live, so it's been sitting here opening up for quite some time. I poured myself a healthy dram. I probably only have, like 3 drams left.
Well, yeah, like, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is what's left of our 4-way bottle split. It's splitting 4 ways. It's cool, but I mean, look at this bottle. I mean, I wish there was just more whiskey in here.
We were super lucky at the price we got for this whiskey. We paid $6.30 Canadian before taxes and shipping, which is probably the best price I've seen globally for this whiskey. Like $6.30 Canadian. Really quickly, I'll just check it on the internet here. $6.30 Canadian to USD is $465 American. So I know Springbank is going up in price, and I know the 21 and 25-year-old are going up in price, but I do feel that we got a pretty decent deal.
Yeah, I would be surprised if someone in the States is paying $5.50 for this bottle.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I think we got one of the lowest prices.
My God, this nose is just unreal.
It's crazy.
It's so nice. Yeah, I'm gonna regret not buying more of this whiskey, I think.
As boxes go, the Springbank is quite good for 400 pounds. Welsh Carroll says. Peter White saying, I snoozed on those 14 bourbon cask strength in Nova Scotia, $115. We all did, buddy. I really regret not getting those Springbank 14-year-old bourbon cask single casks. I regret not getting all the single cask Springbanks that have ever existed from the moment I was born. I get a nice tobacco note on this one. Are you getting that at all?
Yeah, I get lots of stuff on here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Whisky friend is taking off. He's saying, getting late here, friends. Great show. Cheers, buddy. Nice to see you. There's a few guys sticking around for a late show tonight. Welsh Toro's in the house as well. You guys just getting here, I think. Donald Grant, what's up? He's saying, good evening, folks. I'm just dropping in for a bit. Springbank, nice. Oh, man. The nose on this is beautiful, though.
Mm. Yeah, it's a really nice whiskey. Do we know the breakdown? Sherry cask, bourbon cask? Oh, sorry, it's a
rum and bourbon.
Rum and a sherry, right?
Yeah, rum sherry. And it's, I believe, 55 sherry, 45 rum, but I could be wrong. I'll double check that. I did see it somewhere.
Right.
Obviously, this is not a formal review, but I will have to do it soon because I don't have much left. Unless I open my bottle here, which I was hoping to hang on to for a little while. So the wraps haven't started yet. It's 5 after 9. It should be starting soon. I feel like we can go on for a little bit longer just because by the time like the game gets into like the big moments, it'll be well into like the 11 o'clock hour.
My food delivery just got here, so I'll give you another couple minutes, and I'm gonna bounce on you.
All right, cool.
Yeah, whiskey is really really nice. You know what you got to do? You got to do this head to head with the 21. Because that 21 is also a really nice whiskey.
I really like that 21. I think this one's more Springbanky though.
Yeah.
Got like that funk. It's got some nice sweetness to it from those rum casks. The nose you get, like I don't get as much rum on the nose, but I get more Oloroso. But right off the hop, like when you first take your sip, you get that sweetness from the rum cask anyway.
Yeah, whereas the 21, that port is very, very like forefront, and it dominates the whiskey a lot more than like the rum or the Oloroso, which dominates this one.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like the Springbank 21 will be more popular with people that don't really love peat, more popular with people that don't really want the Springbank funk. Whereas this whiskey will be more popular with the people that do want all that. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, I think that hardcore Springbank fans will love the 25, and maybe people new to Springbank, they'll be blown away by the 21.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. The Springbank 21, port and rum, it's super sweet. It's too easy to drink. Like it literally drinks like Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And like it's gone. It feels like you're drinking a cocktail almost. It's delicious stuff. I love it. I love both.
In chat, what's up, Jasper?
Hey Jasper, what's going on, man? Jasper has some of this too. Why don't you pour some with us, buddy? Rob Horvitz is saying that he's watching the Raps and you live. Santa Cruzan is saying that hat is pretty cool, brother. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I got a few more. They actually are selling pretty quickly. I was surprised. Richie Z is saying 2 scotches I've been itching to try are, I'm going to butcher this, Athrusk and Manicamore. Have you or Jeremy tried these yet? I've seen a few of both. The Manicamore that was available at the LCBO was like 25 years old, and it was like $600, so I passed. But the other one is not available at the LCBO, and I haven't really inquired enough about it to make the purchase. DH Sills is saying, are both the 21 and 25 the 2019 editions? Yes. So this is the 2019 edition. Like I said, it's sherry and rum casks, only 1,200 bottles produced, 46%, no other color, unchill filtered. The 21 is port and rum casks, also 46%.
Yeah, it's a beautiful whiskey. I'm loving this stuff.
So I like to compare this one to that Mortlock GM that we have a little bit, because I'm getting similar notes on the nose, not as intense because the Mortlock is a single cask strength, whereas this is watered down to a 46%. It's so easy to drink. So it's like the easy everyday type drinking of that Mortlock in my, like, that's how I'd like to compare it. I don't know, maybe I'm way off, but
yeah, I don't know if I would say this is like the Mortlock in my opinion, but that Mortlock is more like a sherry bomb, like a dry oak sherry bomb. This is more balanced, I feel.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
just have Springbank funkiness to it.
When you added water to that Morlock, though, did you not get like that? Like, did it not open up a little bit, like a little bit less on the oak, or did you still find it as super oaky?
I did think the oak like softened a little bit maybe, but I preferred it without the water. So I didn't. Once I added water the first time, I never did it again.
Yeah. DHLs thinks that the one that he has is completely different, and I think that's just the case with the 25-year-olds in general. Every year, they make it a little bit different to make sure that they have enough stock for the year after, right?
Right.
So I think there's some years where it's just sherry, some years where it's bourbon sherry, some years where it's, but this year it was sherry and rum. So pretty cool, pretty unique in my opinion. I don't think too many companies are doing that.
Rob, I'm gonna let you go. This Saturday we'll meet up Ardbeg Day, Toronto.
This Saturday, guys, you can find Jeremy at Sipper Social Club if you don't know that already, which I'm sure everybody here does. Thanks for joining me, man. That was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. It was short and sweet, but always nice to drink some Springbank. And yeah, I'll see you Saturday. You should have a good time at the Ardbeg Day.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, cheers, everyone. Have a good one.
So just to recap, finishing off with these drams here, or this 25-year-old Springbank here. That's what the box looks like again. But if you're just joining us, I gave the Glenallachie 12-year-old a 90. I matched Ralfy's mark, and I basically talked about that. You guys can go back. I'm not going to bore with the people that were here the whole time with that spiel again. But now that I have you guys, I want to talk a little bit to you guys directly. So if you guys have any questions or you guys want to share what you're having. Richie Z says, is the 25 retail around 300 USD? 25 retail is probably, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what it's going for in the US, but we paid probably around, or I said it earlier, I think it was 460 US dollars. Around 460. Welsh Toro saying that the 15-year or whiskey around the 15-year is a bit of a sweet spot for him. Honestly, I think 15 years is a great whiskey because it tends to be like well aged, not too expensive, pretty like reasonable in price for the most part. DHL is saying MSRP here for the 2016 was 800 US dollars. So I think the 2016 had less bottles, so that could be why maybe the price was higher. Peter White saying bourbon cask only 48%. I'm not sure what they're talking about earlier. Whiskey Thrall is heading off to bed. Cheers, Whiskey Whistles heading off to bed. Cheers, Mark. Thanks for coming in, buddy. So I don't know if you guys have an opportunity to Google your like local liquor store or whatever. What's the Springbank 25-year-old going for in your area if it's available? Hey, Teresa, how's it going? I can attest to Mark saying, he says, Peter, I'm biased. I love bourbon cask scotch. Mark's combination was mostly, I feel, bourbon cask whiskeys. So I did get that sense. So interesting that he says Rob's family's in the house. Yep. Man, this is so good. I would say, so if you're not into Springbank and you want to spend some money on a whiskey that for sure you're going to like because it's sweet, has a beautiful nose and all those types of things, get the 21 because the 21 does not drink like a Springbank and it's just incredible whiskey. I really, really love it. But if you love Springbank and you want also an incredible whiskey, grab this 25 if you can, because as Jeremy said, we split our open bottle between him, myself, my friend Paulo, and Jasper, and I almost feel like it was just enough to get to know the whiskey and really enjoy it. I do have a little bit left. I probably have enough for 3 whiskey in the 6 type pours, maybe a little bit less, but still enough for at least 3 more pours. Michael Manganiello saying, what would be your price cutoff today? Meaning, what's the max you'd spend on a particular bottle? So that's a great question. I kind of have like a matrix of what I would spend on a bottle to open if I'm only buying one of them, and what I would spend on a bottle if I'm going to get 2. And the second one is just a backup to make sure that if I don't like it, I can flip it a little bit and cover the cost of the first one. So if I'm buying a bottle just to drink, I'm going to say $300 and less is my max. If I'm buying a bottle that I really want to collect, plus I want to taste, and I think that it might be worth something in the future, kind of like the Springbank 25-year-old here, I would go upwards of $1,000, but that's only if I could like salvage the money somehow through my collection. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that people flip bottles and whatnot, but literally the only reason I do it is so I can try new whiskeys. I never use that money to buy a new car or use that money to pay for whatever. My whiskey money is my whiskey money, and it's set to the side. Whereas, like, you know, I try not to interfere with my kids' tuition money and that sort of thing. So I would say $1,000. I guess that's the best, the max that I would spend on a bottle that I was like truly going crazy for. Richie Z is saying, is the funk in the 25-year-old prominent or subtle? It's way more subtle than most Springbanks, but it's actually more prominent than the 18-year-old, which is weird. I know it's sweet, and as I sip it and nose it, like as the hour passes, it's getting even more sweet, less funky. So maybe my nose is adapting, but also maybe it's just opening up more. I'm getting the rum casks a little bit more as well. DH Sales is saying there's only one distributor in the U.S. for Springbank. I'm willing to bet across the U.S. and the 2019 likely isn't around. We're getting new bottles from 2016 to 2018. Yeah, it's strange how that works. Even where I buy from, it tends to be like older expressions, like bottles that, like the 6.3 recently resurfaced in an area that I purchase from all the time, which like I'm talking about Octomore, which is weird because it seemed like it was sold out for years. So I can never figure that one out. Whiskey Throttle saying, you guys see in the news about how smoky it is where I'm at right now. I can't see. I guess he's trying to say I can't see farther than 10 feet. So much smoke from up forest fire. I feel like I'm swimming in a bottle of Talisker. That's scary to hear, Daniel. I did hear about some forest fires going on around there. Hope you're okay, buddy. I hope your house is okay. Hope your neighborhood's okay. But, man, I can't even imagine what that would be like. That's never happened in Ontario. That's pretty common for Alberta and heavily forested areas. I wish you the best, man. I hope everything's okay. Rostislav is saying 21 is $400. I'm assuming he's saying Canadian, but yeah, I think he's about right. 21 is delicious. I'm really like, I'm hoping I can line up a backup bottle of that because it's awesome stuff. And Chad Adams is also saying that they are usually a year or two behind in Springbank releases. Yeah, that's really strange. I do have a video coming out I'm gonna separate them by I guess peat level. So I'm gonna do a rundown or a head-to-head of the two hazel burns that I have. I have the 13 Oloroso and the 14 Oloroso. Then I'm going to go to my long grows. I'm going to do the long grow red, long grow 14-year-old, and that's a sherry cask. And then the long grow 17-year-old Chardonnay cask. And then I'm going to go to the Springbanks. I have the Springbank 9-year-old local barley. I have the Springbank 21-year-old 2019. And the Springbank 25-year-old 2019. So that'll be my next 3 Mondays. All right. So look for those coming up, guys. Oh, he's saying $400 US. Okay, so that seems to be the going rate in Canada, depending like where it is available in Canada, about $400. So I guess we're getting a little bit of a better deal. Very tight score so far in the Raptors Golden State game, 9-9. We'll see if that sticks around for a little while. Yeah, Welsh Toro saying Springbank 21 is 200 pounds in UK, which converts to about $380 ish. Maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on how the Canadian dollar is doing. So actually, I got a better deal on my bottle than 200 pounds. Sorry. Springbank. Jasper saying Springbank month, kind of something like a Springbank month, I guess. Definitely a Campbelltown month. I should probably add in my Kilkieran 8-year-old cask strength at some point in that mix. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll mix it in somehow. Maybe with the long grows because it's a little peated. Richie Z saying phenomenal lineups. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I do notice that my long grows don't really get a lot of views, and my Springbanks don't really get a lot of views. But at the end of the day, the guys that show up on nights like tonight are really the people I'm trying to appeal to anyway. So you guys drink what I drink, and we drink what we like. I don't really like the idea of putting out videos of like proper 12 or stuff like that. And I'm not knocking anybody that does. I'm just saying that's not my thing, just because I have to have that bottle after. I gotta hang on to that bottle. I gotta pay for that bottle like 98% of the time with my own money. So I don't buy those kinds of things because I know that I'm not gonna like them. I know that I'm not gonna be able to give them a good mark. Whiskey Thrall saying, thank you. Not near me, about 5 hours away. All right, that's good to hear, buddy. Hopefully it doesn't come your way at all. Red Beards Racing is saying, please explain the Springbank Funk. Okay, so Springbank Funk is a weird thing to describe, and it's because it's a combination of peated barley. So I think it's malted barley that's been malted for a very long time. I think that's part of what happens in the Springbank Funk, and then you're getting the peat from Springbank as well. But you will get some of that in Hazelburn, and that's probably because they use the same the same pot stills to make their whiskey. But it's a combination of peat, a long malting process, and I don't know, just distillery characteristic, I guess. It's smoky, it's a little cheesy, I guess you can say, and it's got like ham notes. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's sweet. I don't know. Those of you that drink Springbank, okay. Michael Manganiello saying Springbank Funk equals burned toasted pizza flour. That's a good way to describe it, I guess. How many do we have in the chat? I'm probably gonna give another 5 minutes and then call it a night. Hopefully that's enough for everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this night. How many do we have? Let's see. We got about 38. Very cool. Jason's saying cheesy rancho. Yeah, that's probably a good way of summing it up. It's definitely sweet though, and you definitely get those spicy oloroso notes and all the other like cask influences that you would normally expect from a whiskey, but combined with the funk. Yeah. Welsh Charles saying farmyard elements. Definitely some of that as well. Awesome. Anybody else drinking Springbank tonight that I may have missed? Because the chat goes pretty quickly. It's hard to tell. I think Whiskey Throttle is referring to the cheesiness of Springbank in relation to Game of Thrones. He says, like the got. And he directed that comment to me, so I think that's what he's referring to. Richie Z says 40, and then he says, great stream. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Don't forget to smash that like button for Rob. Thanks, Redbeard Racing. Appreciate that, buddy. Chad Adams is saying SB Funk equals burning wet leaves and sweet maltiness. So that's like 5 different people that have 5 different descriptions of what Springbank Funk is. So that's kind of like whiskey in a nutshell. Like none of us actually smell and taste all the same things. We all kind of have our own perspective. So that's what's cool about it. But we all can agree that, or not all of us, but most of us can agree if we're Scotch lovers that certain whiskeys are really, really good. Richie Z saying, I'll pour some of the local barley 10 while watching the game. Yeah, local barley 10 is really good. I like the local barley 10 and 16 a lot more than I like the local barley 9. Santa Cruzans drinking spring water. I wonder why that is. How come you're not joining us tonight, Santa Cruzan? Oh, man. That's really, really nice, guys. Stay tuned for the review on this. I'm going to start to chunk some videos together, mainly because they're not heavily watched anyway, but also because I have way too much that still needs to be reviewed. This upcoming Thursday, so Monday will be either the Hazelburn, Long Girl, or Springbank rundown, I guess you can call it. Then Thursday, if all goes well and Paul is able to make it, we're going to do a rundown of all the Bal Blairs that we have. So I think there's the 99, the 90 bottled in 2015, the 90 bottled in 2016, the 91 bottled in 2018, and my 83 that's 30 years old. So that's coming up this next week live. So Paulo and I will do that together. I think it's going to be fun. I think you guys will really enjoy that one. So stay tuned. Monday, Thursday, the following Monday, I have a whole bunch of fun stuff lined up. We're going to go pretty crazy here until July arrives because July begins my American whiskey month. I dedicate 1 month a year to American whiskeys and bourbons. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that as well. But I guess we can say that the next few weeks will be Springbank and some other cool rundowns. Santa Cruzan is saying, not up yo par yet. I think maybe he's just not home yet. Whiskey Throttle saying, the funk comes from the rubber suits they wear while shoveling out the soaking tubs. I hope you're wrong because that sounds gross, but I wouldn't be surprised. Everyone, what's going on, buddy? Nice to see you. Seems like a few of you guys are looking forward to the next few reviews. Man, the Springbank 25 noses incredibly. I have a bottle of Springbank 13 Green. I've heard good things about that one. I haven't tried it yet myself. But that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for sticking around. We just got a Jabroni super chat. Kev, thanks so much, Kevin. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for the super chat. You guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. It's hard to follow along unless somebody highlights my name, so I apologize if I missed any of the comments earlier. If you really want to get my attention, it highlights red for me. It'll just put at Whiskey in the 6, but put the spacing between Whiskey and in, and then the spacing between the and 6, because it'll show up red for me, and then at least this way I can see it. Santa Cruz has a chest infection. All right, my bad, buddy. Hopefully you feel better. Guys, you're awesome. Kev, thanks so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it, buddy. Welsh Toro, thanks for sticking around and staying up late for us. Guys, you're welcome. Appreciate you jumping in. Definitely looking forward to the long row reviews. All right, it's coming at you guys soon. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining. Have a good night. Enjoy the basketball game if that's your thing. Andrew's saying go Raps. That's right. Cheers, guys.